Hey, it's Q with Fortitude Training Concepts. Let's talk about a combat reload with a rifle. In a previous video, we talked about the combat reload with the handgun. I understand different parts of the country, it's called different things. Essentially, this is a slide lock reload, emergency reload. On the rifle, it's going to be a bolt lock reload. Now, let me preface this by telling you, if you're utilizing a rifle in a self-defense situation and you have a handgun with you, at 25 yards and in, you should be transitioning to your handgun. Okay? There are things that dictate cover concealment, you know, what the area looks like, things like that. But generally speaking, 25 yards and in, we're going to transition to a handgun if we have one. But maybe we don't have one, and maybe we have an issue right there in front of us, and we have to do a combat reload, and we have to do it fast and effectively. And to get this thing back into service, right? Meow. So let's talk about that a little bit. With the handgun, I place my magazines in the number one spot each and every time. It doesn't matter what kit I'm wearing. Same with the rifle. The only difference with the rifle is the magazine is facing the opposite direction. With a handgun, bullets are facing forward. Rifle, bullets are facing to the rear. The reason I do that is so when I grab it, I have much more dexterity when I hold it and place it in the magazine well. If I utilize this like a handgun and I try to grab it long and index it, I can't really do that as well, and I'm going to lose a little bit of purchase. So I place them facing to the rear. On all my different kits, it's the same. Number one for handgun, number one for rifle. Okay, the first one we're going to discuss is utilizing our bolt catch here on the left side or the driver's side of the rifle. When I come up, and I'm grabbing the magazine in this fashion, when I come up, I push and then I tug to make sure the magazine is seated, and then look at that. My thumb is the exact same height as the bolt catch. According to the internet, our thumbs were actually made that size to perfectly match the bolt catch on an AR15 platform, according to the internet. I'm also a French model. So on this one, I don't know how many rounds we're gonna fire. I'm gonna fire until the bolt locks to the rear. Now, you might feel it, you might not. Talking to people who have been overseas in combat, sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. When that bolt locks to the rear, you can sometimes feel it catch. So I'm gonna fire till it locks to the rear. Then I'll start my reload process from there, utilizing the bolt catch. Okay, it locked to the rear on that one. First, finger goes off the trigger and goes to the magazine release. Second, I'm going on safe. From there, I am dropping the magazine as my support side hand is going to go to my next source of ammunition. As I'm doing that, I can either place it into a workspace like I do my handgun. For our smaller stature friends, we can tuck it. So I'm going to put it into my workspace. Sometimes it gets caught in the magazine well. So as an extra precaution, as I'm going to my next source of ammunition, I hit it and strip it out of the magazine well. Get my next source of ammunition, come up, push, pull, go over to the magazine, or excuse me, the bolt catch, press that, obtain my firing grip, save, and then fire additional rounds. So I have had a few times the magazine get caught and I have to strip it out. So I got in the habit of every time while I'm going to my next source of ammunition, I'm just stripping it out of the magazine well. I'm not holding it and throwing it or anything like that. I'm just essentially hitting it with the front of the magazine with these fingers. safety. Why am I reciprocating the safety? The safety is never a disabler, it's always an enabler. Whenever my sights are off target on a rifle with an external safety, I am placing it on safe every time. So let's see that one again. Up on target. 3 rounds that time. I go to safe. Strip the magazine, bring it up. Push, pull. Hit the bolt catch. Off safe. That's the bolt catch. The next procedure, the next way to run the bolt is actually using the charging handle itself. A few different ways you could do that. You can do a claw, like my son says, the claw, and reciprocate it in this fashion. You can do a hook, reciprocate it in this fashion. If you have gloves, I wouldn't do it with bare hands. I might be stupid and do it on the video with bare hands. I can reciprocate the charging handle in that fashion. So again, just like the handgun, find what works for you every time, 100% of the time, and stick to that. So for running the bolt, okay, bolt's locked forward. Got a couple rounds in here. See how many I have. Okay, felt a lock to the rear. I'm going to safe. I'm dumping the mag. I come up, fresh source of ammunition. I hook it, or I claw it, or I palm it, let it go. Pull it all the way back and let it go. I'm ready to go at that point. Off. Okay, that's the charging handle. So that's the combat reload with the rifle. Easy, right? It's a lot like a handgun. It's just bigger. We can utilize the bolt catch. We can utilize our charging handle. Either one, whatever works for you 100% of the time, every time. When we go to our workspace, we can do a traditional handgun-esque workspace. Or we could tuck it. Sometimes we get tired, gotta tuck it. All right. So that's it, right? Pretty simple. It's been Q with Fortitude Training Concepts. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless America. Your lifestyle and the priorities. Why can't I talk?